going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Spida, we got Jameson, we got William, we got Adrian, we got Brandon, Moles. Appreciate you for being here. Do me a huge favor if you guys haven't already smacked the like button. Do me that huge favor right now. Smack it up. Do it for the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about today. And yes, all the people in the chat are talking about the they're talking about the grades, man. They're talking about the grades. We're going to be talking about that here as well. If you guys do not know what, most of the chat is talking about, the NFLPA has released their grades for, every NFL team. And lo and behold, where do the Cardinals rank? The Cardinals are dead freaking last again. So we're going to be diving into kind of where the Cardinals are at. If you're going to ask me why we fell from 27 back to 30, don't ask. I don't know. I'm not in the facility. I have no clue. Ask Michael Bidwell. The person that should really be asked these questions is Michael Bidwell at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's a lot of questions, but we're going to be diving into the grades specifically for the Cardinals. And I want to get your guys' gauge and how you guys feel about it. Are you embarrassed? Or are you like, yeah, this sounds about right. This sounds about right. So, yeah, this is tough, man. This is absolutely tough to wake up to this type of morning because we wanted to talk about mainly, obviously, Matthew Stafford and the buzz that's going around and the shakeup that might happen here within the NFC West. And we're going to be diving into that as well. We also got some other news as well for other Pro Bowl caliber players that might be available. So, the Combine is just a day or two away. And we already got news coming out here for the NFL. So, let's get started and talk about the grades. Actually, no, first, real quick, let me give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about these freaking grades, shall we? All right. Let's take down this banner here real quick just so we're all kind of on the same page. And this is where we're ranked. So I'm already seeing some comments out there about Cardinal fans being embarrassed, Cardinal fans wondering, scratching their heads. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, like what is this a shock? Is this a shock to anybody? This is not a shock to me. This is still Michael Bidwell at the end of the day owning this facility, right? He's owning this organization. It's still the same guy that's been owning it, or the same family that's been owning it for freaking years. Like, if you take a look at the pictures of what the locker room looks like, and I've seen a couple floating around the internet, the locker room for the Arizona Cardinals compared to, like, let's say, for example, a high caliber organization like maybe the Vikings or anything like that, you're talking about a difference in just the locker room alone, right? So this is where the Cardinals are currently ranked. Treatment of families, D+. Oh, all right, let's keep it going. Food/dining areas, D-. Nutritionist and dietitian, B. Okay, I guess we'll take that. Locker room, F-. Good Lord. It's not even an F. It's an F-. That's the lowest you can get. The lowest of the low is the locker room. F-. Sheesh. Training room, D-. Good Lord. Training staff, C. Weight room, F. What's in that weight room? What's in that weight room? Good Lord. Strength coaches, C+. Okay. Team travel, B. Well, Michael Bidwell is a pilot, right? Doesn't he fly the guys out and he gets himself some jets here and there? Doesn't he got multiple jets for the Cardinals organization? So that makes sense as to why the team travels is listed as a B. They travel in luxury. It's just when they're in this facility, it's absolute dumpster fire. Head coach, A. Okay. I see you, Jonathan Gannon. A. That's good to hear. Ownership, D-.
Shame.
It's time.
Shame. Shame.
It's time. Ring it one more time for the guys in the back.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Man. Okay. Well, where do we go from here? I know multiple people saying sell the team, Michael Bidwell. It ain't gonna happen. You can preach, you can jump on your soapbox and try to say all of these colorful things, but if these guys aren't, he's not gonna sell the damn team. He's not gonna sell it, right? I hope that this is an embarrassment to this organization and primarily to Michael Bidwell. I hope he looks at this and saying, oh, man, how the heck did we drop from 27 to 30, right? Or 32? How? How do we drop? I mean, the Commanders, they got new ownership and they jumped up from probably one of the lowest to one of the tops. Maybe not the top, but one of the tops. But man, oh man, oh man, this is embarrassing for sure. I'm surprised that ownership got D minus. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm surprised that ownership didn't get F minus. I feel like the ownership should probably get F minus. D minus, I think that's being a little too nice. Head coach, I like that. I really do. I've said this before. All my frustrations that I had, it never comes from Jonathan Gannon. He's given what he's provided, right? Year in and year out. I like that he's gotten an A. I think he's a really good head coach. I think he speaks to all the things that he truly believes, and everybody's bought in, right? You saw a defense that was absolutely undermanned, and he did a pretty darn good job with it. Team travel, B. Strength coaches, C+. Weight room. How do you have an F on a weight room? Like, what the heck? How do you have a... What are they doing in that weight room? How is that listed as an F? Oh, we got like rusty old weights in there, or what's going on? Rusty bars? Like, what's happening in there? How is that an F? Good Lord. Training room, D minus. Staff, C. It looks like the staff is ranked, pretty solidly, at least average, right? Locker room is the worst. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts, right? My guy Brandon says no weights. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they're running with like no weights. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how you get an F for weight room. Like, shoot. I think my local freaking Planet Fitness, like, they keep that pretty up. They keep that pretty up to date, though. A lot of people clean that. I'm not gonna lie to you. But like any other, like, I just don't understand it. Like, what are we? Rusty weights, no weights, rusty bars? Like, what's going on in here, man? Yeah. All right. Well, this is the Arizona Cardinals for you in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. If you're embarrassed, probably should be. If you're not, and it's just regular grades for you, then okay, cool. Then that's what it is too. But the Arizona Cardinals continue as an organization to be one of the bottom graded teams in the NFL, and it hasn't changed, and it probably isn't going to change under the current ownership. Unfortunately, make this a big deal if you want. Or if you don't want, if you don't care too much about it, then it is what it is at the end of the day, right? So this is going to be where the Cardinals are graded, and I believe, if I remember correctly, the overall grade is an F, and I think they're ranked like number 32. So like they're the worst. They're the worst amongst, or at least the rankings for the NFLPA. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your overall thoughts, chat. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. I'm a little embarrassed. I am a little embarrassed, but all right. Here we go. Actually, let's do this. Let's take a couple comments, and then we're going to move on over to the big news that was released earlier today with a lot of players. So let's take a couple comments about the current state of the NFLPA and how you guys feel about it. Let's do that right now, and then we'll kind of go from there. Get closer to God says they use sack of potatoes for weights. They must have, right? They must have sack of potatoes for weights. That might be true, man. That might be true. Let me ring the shame bell one more time.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right, let's keep this going here. We got Steven in the chat says, no wonder Kyler is always in the weight room. There is nothing there but a TV to play. Oh my goodness, the jokes continue. Sheesh. All right, let's keep it going. We got Keith in the chat saying last rating, it was because the floor was coming up in the weight room. Good Lord. Good Lord. Uncanny says, hey, Bidwell did buy a new... Yeah, those casitas look pretty nice at the end of the end zone, though, right? Those little casitas look really nice at the end of the end zone. Sheesh. This is not a way to be a contender. You ain't wrong there, man. You ain't wrong there. We've heard multiple interviews from... Monty Ossenfort about obviously wanting to be smart this offseason. We got a lot of money to spend. We're top 4 in the NFL in terms of the amount of cap space, and I hope that we use it wisely. I hope the smartness does come from obviously not getting too crazy and just spending to spend, but spending to where the players that you're going to bring in are going to be making big impacts moving forward, right? So, yeah, it's a lot of things that we're going to we're going to have to take a look within the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a lot, or at least next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to find out a lot about how we are going to tackle the 2025 season. I just hope that the Arizona Cardinals really take this seriously and are really, really looking into going to that next step. I know JG is. I know Monty is. It's just the guy that's actually writing the checks. I'm a little worried about him. I'm not going to lie to you. We got Jameson in the chat. Says, no wonder Marvin Harrison Jr. is not physical enough. Yo! Sheesh. All right. Let's keep it going. Weight room, man. Weight room. F- on a weight room. That's wild. All right. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the big news of the day. A lot of stuff's been happening here in the world of the NFL. It's Combine Week, and it almost kind of feels like when we, as fans, always think and breathe and talk about different things, mock draft 1.0, mock draft 2.0, right? We're always we're never sleeping on the NFL. We're always thinking about it, right? It almost kind of feels like the guys that are actually making the decisions, there definitely seems to be a break amongst talks, and it starts heating up when everybody gets together. And I guess it makes sense, right? If you're actually working in the industry, you can get a little burnt out. You need a break, right? So that makes sense. So we're starting to kind of get a lot of news from big time reporters out there like Ian Rappaport as well as Adam Schefter about players that might be a potential move off from their current team. So that's what we're going to be diving into right now. A couple different players that maybe you guys want. Let me know here in the chat if you are interested in any of these players. But here are the big news of the day. I really didn't need to do that, but I just wanted to. All right, let's go ahead and get it here. First reported, or at least where I first saw it here, is going to be Ian Rappaport coming out saying that Jaire Alexander, Pro Bowl cornerback, the Packers have had trade conversations centered around star cornerback Jaire Alexander. They are open to moving him for the right price. Alexander is still 28, a two-time Pro Bowler, is considered to be the most, let's say, decorated cornerback. Is that decorated cornerback available? I guess that's what that means. Okay. So anybody interested in a potential Jaire Alexander? The big concern with him is just that there's just so many injuries, especially within this last part of his career. I think he is a good cornerback. And some people out there, especially in my comments when we're talking about the Cardinals, right? A lot of people think that the Cardinals should go cornerback, like whether it's free agency or the draft. I'm not one of those guys that want to prioritize cornerback over the defensive line, but I think anything could use an upgrade. Anything can use an upgrade here on this roster. So it's pretty intriguing to see a guy like Jaire Alexander potentially being open for the right price, right? Now, of course, like I said, and we've heard Monty Ossenfort talk about this for multiple times over and over again, this is the time where you're getting this news, or it's more conversations more than anything, right? So a GM might go to another GM and say, hey, what's up, man, right? What's going on, buddy? Well, what do you think it would take to get this guy on my roster, right? And of course, that's where speculations start. Oh, man, they're willing to hear, because at the end of the day, just like Monty Ossenfort said, he's willing to hear. He's willing to listen into potential move back options for the draft, or potential, trade up options for the draft as well. Like, you never really know until draft night, right? At the end of the day, he's always willing to listen. And I feel like that's the mantra of all these GMs, just in general. So to me, I'm going to go and say, I don't want to touch Jaire Alexander myself, in terms of like, that sounded kind of really, pause real quick. Pause. Okay. Let me run that back again. What I meant to say is I wouldn't want the Arizona Cardinals to go after Jaire Alexander. Like, I just don't feel like I think he'll make a big impact on the Arizona Cardinals defense, right? I think he will. It's just, I would rather allocate the money that he's currently making right now. And like I said, the best ability is availability. And what he's been struggling with is being able to stay on the field. Like, that's a big struggle that he's been dealing with for at least this last year. And I'm kind of a little worried about that. So right now, Jaire Alexander, his contract, what it looks like. So if the Cardinals were to make a deal like this, we're talking about a guy that signed up until the 2026 season. He actually has no more guaranteed salary. So he's got zero guaranteed salary in 2025, zero guaranteed salary in 2026. but has a base salary of 16.1 in 2025 and a base salary in 2026 of 18.1. But of course, because the signing bonus is going to be a cap hit of about 24.9 in 2025 and 27.3 in 2026. So expensive. It's going to be a very, very, very costly acquisition if the Cardinals decided to do something like this, right? That's why I kind of want to steer a little way of it. I won't be mad if we do. I don't know. It just doesn't. I'm not there, right? So let's take it to the comments. We had some people here in the chat. I asked you guys, who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to go after? First guy we're talking about right now is Jair Alexander. we got A says Purge music is what Bidwell plays in the office game. Yeah, probably. AD AZ says trade him to us. So you do want him, okay? So you want Jair. Adrian says no. Heard Ravens want him to. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a big market. This isn't a guy that's a scrub. He's a good cornerback, if not great cornerback. So I'm not gonna come out here and say he's not good. It's just the only reason why I'm kind of staying a little back is because I think what the Cardinals really need to focus on is making sure that defensive line is as dominant as they can so they give us the opportunity for our cornerbacks to flourish, right? Or guys like Garrett Williams, Max Melton, Elijah Jones. Hopefully we see a little bit more of him this coming time around. Sean Murphy Bunting, right? Those guys that are going to benefit from a very dominant pass rusher. So if we do get somebody like him, we're giving up draft capital, which makes sense if you're going to make a trade, but you're also going to be paying him $24.9 million and you have him signed under contract to 2026. So you got a solid, some might say shut down cornerback, but the best ability is availability, right? He's been struggling with staying healthy. So there's that. That's why I'm a little kind of hesitant, but like I said, if you want him, there's no issues about that. We got my guy Arturo in the chat. What's up, Arturo? He says, "Hey, good morning, Mike. Quick question: do you think the Cards will move on from Tune?" Great question. I think the Cardinals are going to upgrade the position. Or at least try to upgrade the position. I think they're going to try to at least address a quarterback or at least bringing in another quarterback in for maybe a quarterback competition or a better backup quarterback. I don't know if they're going to release him because I need to find out a little bit more who they bring in and what training camp looks like. But as of right now, I know they are going to try to attempt to bring in somebody either via draft or free agency. So for what it's worth, right now, it's too early to say if they're going to release Tune or not, but I know they're going to try their best to try to upgrade that position. Let's see here. Spider says, save the money, use it on the weight room. Sheesh. Good Lord.
9 mistakes made ahead of me. And I am.
Okay. All right. Save the money, use it on the weight room. Love to hear it. Okay, perfect. All right. So there's Jair Alexander. And then on top of that, there's another guy, which I'm actually a little intrigued with. And I might make a video about this a little later on to kind of get a gauge on where you guys are at with this whole situation. But not just that, but we also heard that Harold Landry, edge rusher for the Tennessee Titans, also was given permission to seek out a trade. So where do you land on this, Bird Gang? Where do you land on this, chat? Let me know here in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Harold Landry? Now, I first saw the report, and of course, the reports are from everywhere, but this is where I took the screenshot from, right? And that's going to be from Adam Schefter. He says, Titans have granted permission to former Pro Bowl linebacker Harold Landry to seek a trade. Per sources, Landry started all 17 games last season, finishing with 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 18 pressures, and 4 pass deflections. The 28-year-old Landry has 31.5 sacks in the last 3 seasons he has played and is due 17.5 base salary this season. So now let's talk about him real quick. And now, like I said, if you're going to ask me who one guy that I would like between Jair and Harold, I would lean a little bit more towards Harold Landry. Now, 29 years old, right? So he isn't 30, but he would automatically be an upgrade for the Cardinals. He would automatically be an upgrade for the Cardinals. He is signed until the 2026 season. He does have a base salary of 17.5, and in 2026, it'll also be 17.5, but the cap hit will be $24 million, and that's going to be for the next 2 years. But he had 9 sacks this last year, and he would be a big, big, big upgrade from currently who we have right now on this roster. So, what say you? Questions, comments, concerns. What do you guys feel about Harold Landry? Michael in the chat says, Landry, if he doesn't cost too much, sure. The thing is that he will cost. Is with the signing bonus, we're talking about a cap hit of $24 million. Now, let's talk about this. Where are the Cardinals going to go on free agency, right? Because I almost kind of feel like the Cardinals are probably going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed, they're going to try to address the edge rushing group in free agency, maybe bring in a big caliber guy, maybe like your Josh Sweat, maybe trading for a Harold Landry, something like that, but also address it in the draft as well, whether it's the first round or second round or maybe even the third round, right? So this might be, like, if the Cardinals go after this guy, right? If they go after Harold Landry, big question mark is, will they still go after Josh Sweat? Probably not. They probably won't go after a edge rusher, right? They probably would go after an interior guy if they have the money or if they want to use the money to allocate to that specific position. So if they go after Harold Landry, I don't see a world where they will go after Josh Sweat, right? So that kind of breaks the dreams of that because they're really high on BJ Ojulari. They really are. A lot of times that we've been hearing, even Michael Bidwell, Monty Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon, they're all high on BJ. Now, like we said a bit before, the best ability is availability. BJ Ojulari, unfortunately, for the 2 years that he's been an NFL player, has not been able to stay healthy. He's not. But I think they want to give him all the opportunity to become the guy that they drafted him to be in the second round. So, Harold Landry, what say you, chat? What say you? Digital Dust says, always comes down to the price. Fair. Fair. Crazy Fish says, yes, I do, but if it's for the right price, I want anyone for a good price. Well, here's the thing, right? When it comes down to Harold Landry, you're probably not going to use a very high draft pick. And it's probably going to be somewhere in the lines of maybe a middle tier draft pick, right? Jair Alexander, you might be getting away with probably maybe a second or third rounder due to age. With Harold, you're probably looking for maybe a third or fourth rounder, right? So you're going to give up draft compensation, and on top of that, you're going to have to pay a guy that you're bringing into your locker room, right? So there's nothing bad about that, but there's also the sense that the Cardinals need to upgrade this position. They do, right? And why not get an established guy that had 9 sacks last year? Who had 9 sacks last year for the Cardinals? Nobody. Who was the sack leader for the Cardinals last year? Does anybody know? Quiz time. And who was the sack leader for the Arizona Cardinals last year? Zaven. Zaven had what, 5.5 sacks? He was the sack leader. The sack leader. Dante Stills, which was a late round pick a couple years ago, he followed him right after, right? I believe it was 4.5 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. But Zaven Collins has 5 sacks, not 5.5. That's on me. He has 5 sacks, and he was our sack leader. Harold Landry had 9 sacks, and I believe he said 18 hurries. So, I mean, upgrade for sure, right? We're going to have to open up the pocketbooks sometime. Dante Stills has 4.5 sacks, and he was a late round pick. I think he was a 6th round pick for the Cardinals in 2023. So, and this might be, man, this might be a good potential move, especially if you're scared that Josh Sweat isn't going to come to the Cardinals, right? Because I've said this once and I'll say it again. This free agency class in general is not a good free agency class. It really isn't. Like, you have 5 or 6, maybe even 7 top tier guys that the Cardinals can benefit from having on your team. It isn't a good free agency class. Like, this is probably the worst time to have as much money as we have. Because it's not a good free agency class. It really isn't. A lot of teams are doing a good job to maintain the guys that are difference makers. They're not allowing them to hit free agency. But regardless, there's some good guys that are hitting, right? Like I said, 4, 5, 6, 7 really, really good guys that are going to hit that can be change makers, right? Difference makers for any team. So the Cardinals Do they feel like they can really go after Josh Sweat and make a very, very big, intriguing impact to say, hey, do you want to reunite with Nick Riles and Jonathan Gannon? We'll pay you this, right? If they're worried about it, then there's an option here to not going to free agency, because I would be very bummed out if the Cardinals leave this year's free agency with not having a real answer, and not just an unknown answer at the edge position, right? There's just so many questions with the edge position right now. There's so many questions right now for the edge position. So maybe they go that route. I don't know. We'll have to kind of wait and see. So there's this, right? Jair Alexander is a name that's getting floated around, not for the Cardinals, but as a name to potentially get traded, right? Not for the Cardinals, like I said, but I mean just in the NFL, just in general. And I want to be very clear. I don't want to make anything up saying, oh, Mike said that you think we can get, no, no. So there's that, for what it's worth. Now, let's talk about what I really want to talk about. And I want to get your guys' opinions on this. There's a real possibility here, ladies and gentlemen, a real possibility that this might happen. Shout out here to Diana Rossini with this tweet that was posted about an hour ago, probably about an hour and a half ago now, since I'm obviously recording this video. But Diana Rossini came out and says Matthew Stafford's exploration of his market value the last few weeks was indeed attracted significant interest from teams, notably the Raiders and the Giants, per sources. Teams are anticipating the Rams will now be driving up the asking price if they decide to move off of him. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think this is a real possibility. I really, really do think that this is a real possibility here for Matthew Stafford to get out of the NFC West. Now, I've said this once and I'll say it again. Matthew Stafford, the best quarterback in the NFC West. And if you don't agree, and if you say our quarterback is the best, then you're not telling the truth. Who is the best quarterback in the NFC West right now with the current state of the quarterbacks? Purdy, Stafford, Murray, or Geno? Who's the best? I don't think it's even a debate. Matthew Stafford has accomplished a lot being in the Rams. Now, yes, he wasn't the greatest when it came down to the Lions, but Matthew Stafford right now, the best quarterback in the NFC West. So if he leaves and gets traded to potentially the Raiders, potentially the Giants, because you also got to keep in mind here, ladies and gentlemen, that we're living in a world right now where the Giants, they're looking to get a quarterback to save the jobs of their current GM and current head coach. They want to make a big swing. They want to go after a guy like Matthew Stafford that can do it, right? They want to go after a guy like this, right? New York makes sense. New York would be a crazy thing to happen. If he goes over to New York, and I'm talking about the Giants, not the Jets, the Giants, you're looking at a GM and head coach duo that's probably trying to save their jobs. This is a real possibility. There's a real possibility here for Matthew Stafford to land his way out of the NFC West. And if that does happen, let's go. Because, yeah, this guy's been wreaking havoc on the West since he's been here. Won a Super Bowl, always in contention of the playoffs. There's never any doubt that he doesn't have it, right? I know when Aaron Donald retired or left the team, there was a lot of question marks amongst this defense. Yeah, he took a step back, right? He's not the same spry Matthew Stafford, but he still can do it. So will he get traded soon? I mean, right now there is a lot of interest, according to Diana Rossini, of The Athletic, from the Giants and the Raiders. Now let's talk about the Raiders. The Raiders are also in a weird situation where they're not in the top 3. They're sitting at the 6 or 7 pick in the NFL draft. They're looking for a quarterback too. Tom Brady became a minority owner of that organization. He wants to turn that organization around. Why not make a big splash move and getting after a veteran quarterback that, let's be honest, Tom Brady believes in a lot of these guys because he probably sees himself as one of those guys, right? As one of those guys that used to be the older guy in the NFL, and Matthew Stafford at least has one or two more, like at least 2 more years left of competitive football. There's a real possibility. There's a real possibility here. It's a real possibility. Digital Just in the chat says Stafford's not coming to AZ. It's not even no, not at all. No, this is not a conversation about Matthew Stafford coming to AZ. No, not at all. Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. This is a conversation of the best quarterback in the NFC West might find his way out of the West, which is good for Brock Purdy, which is good for Kyler Murray, which is good for Geno Smith. Yeah, no, not at all. This is not a conversation about Cards going after. No, not at all. Not one bit. But yeah, this is real, man. This is real. Especially because the combine, you got all these GMs, all these coaches gauging off each other, nudging each other, saying things like, okay, well, what would it take? What would it take for him to come over, right? Raiders need a quarterback. Sitting in a really weird spot in the NFL draft. Why not go after a guy that can definitely still do it? Last I heard, or at least the rumors out there, was the Rams are looking for a first-round pick. Maybe even multiple. Maybe a first-round pick and another one. I don't know exactly what his value is, but like Diana Rossini said, there's 2 teams that are aggressively trying to go after Matthew. This is the time to do it. Colin Cowherd came out and said, if you have a quarterback that's top 10, top 15, an average quarterback or a good quarterback, he didn't say this, but he implied it with obviously Kyler Murray in the market. Colin Cowherd said that this is the best time to potentially, like, the Cardinals will try to move off of Kyler. Remember that rumor that was coming around from Colin Cowherd that he thinks that the Cardinals are going to try to move off? I mean, the draft, there's no good quarterbacks in the draft, or at least not a lot. There's not an abundance of good quarterbacks coming out of this draft, right? Free agency, I mean, if you really believe in Sam Darnold and you want to pay him and drop the bag on him, then do it. I'm not, right? There's not a lot of good options out there. We made a video yesterday about potential free agent pickups for the Cardinals to go after a backup QB, and none of them were really that good. None of them were really that good. So there's that, right? Gabriel on the chat says, what if Seahawks draft? Well, you mean trade first? I just don't see the Seahawks doing it. The Seahawks right now, if you look at their cap space, they're in no way, shape, or form in any position to go after do a trade like this. They're in no position to do something like this. So the Seahawks won't do it, right? They can't do it. I don't think they can afford it. I heard that Matthew Stafford is looking for like $50 million a year. So A, you need to give up draft capital, and then B, you're going to have to be willing to give up or spend a lot of money on him. Cardinals aren't doing that. Absolutely not doing that. No, heck no. This isn't a question or a conversation about the Cardinals going after Matthew Stafford. No, not at all. But it's him potentially leaving the West. That's big. That's huge. That's huge. Michael in the chat says Darnold to the Titans. I mean, maybe. I heard the Vikings, they want to keep him, but we'll see. We'll see. My guy in the chat here says, when it's all said and done, Stafford isn't going anywhere. The Rams would like to win another Super Bowl now, and there's no other way to do that without Stafford. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe this is just the ploy for them to get a value for him, right? Because if there's teams that are willing to give him $50 million a year, maybe that kind of twists their arms to do something like that, right? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But there's also the rumor out there that if Matthew Stafford does go, Aaron Rodgers might be a real candidate to come to LA. And I know that doesn't give you the same gushy feeling that it used to, right? Matthew Stafford hasn't looked very I'm sorry, not Matthew Stafford. I apologize. Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked great in the last year of the Jets, and unfortunately he got hurt the first year with the Jets in that game one, right? But there's a real rumor going around that if they do lose Matthew Stafford, then there comes Aaron Rodgers coming to LA. And not just that, you get a package deal maybe with Devontae comes in it comes to LA. Right? So there's a lot of rumors going around right now. Now, they're rumors, right? Take it as you will. They're rumors. They're all rumors. So it's not going to happen until you see that official tweet or that breaking news coming from obviously your big time, what's it called? Your big time reporters out there. Look, your Adam Schefter, your Ian Rappaport, right? Things like that. But this is big, man. It's big news. Big news all around. Big news all around. Digital in the chat says Rams did make the playoffs, but it's always business. McVay is the second best coach. Oh, you mean in the NFL in general? McVay is, he's up there, man. McVay is definitely a very, very, very top 3, top 4, top 5 coach for sure. Some might say top 3. Some might say 2, like you said, right? Yeah, I mean, this is going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with Matthew Stafford the moment that it might happen. Honestly, I was leaning towards 60-40, that 60% he's going to stay in the Rams and 40% that he might get traded. I'm kind of shifting. I'm kind of shifting now. I might be going to like 55, 45%, and 55 might be he's going to get traded. And that's just based on my opinion, right? Just the things that you're hearing. It would make sense for the Rams to do something like that, right? Matthew Stafford, although a good quarterback, if not best he's best quarterback in the NFC West. I don't think there's a debate there. But he is probably going to go for another Super Bowl run. Will he wait and do it with the Rams? Well, we'll see. He wants to get paid, and there's no doubt about that. Michael in the chat says, I'm asking again if the Niners would cut Purdy. Would we take Purdy is what you're saying? I don't know if we would take Purdy. You're saying if they cut him? They won't. They won't cut him. There's no way. There's no way that the 49ers are going to cut Brock Purdy. Their intention, at least what the last we've heard, and I know we're just speaking scenarios right now, but I think their intention is to pay Brock Purdy. So maybe you're probably going to hear something within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the free agency starts happening. But we're going to be getting some news coming up here. We're going to get some news coming up. Maybe not for the Cardinals, but for the NFL. You're going to be getting some news here from the NFL here pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited to see where this is all going to kind of, blossom into and figure out where Matthew Stafford goes. I think he might get traded. I think it's realistic. I think it's realistic that he's going to get traded. RC3, what's up, buddy? Mike, slot receivers are asking for trades too. Keep an eye out. Which slot receiver? Y'all know how I feel about slot receivers. You know we need one, right? Greg Dortch might be hitting the open market. Maybe the Cardinals might sign him back. We don't know. Which ones? Which slot wide receivers? You know I'm gung-ho for it, man. You know I'm down for it. I'm down to get us ourselves a slot receiver. Especially one that can separate. Especially one that can provide that spreading of the field, right? I'm down for it. Is there any specific ones that you're hearing or that you saw that I didn't see about a slot wide receiver that can be available via trade? Let me know. Oh, good Lord. No. Nah, not Devo. No. I'm good. I'm good without Devo. Nah. Get him out of the West. And it's not because he's great. I mean, he was at one point. It was, if you didn't have him in fantasy football, you probably weren't winning your fantasy football championship. He was good at one point. And now it seems like he kind of took a step back. I don't know. He kind of lost a step. Maybe he wasn't used as efficiently. I don't know. Maybe people just already know that if Deebo's in the backfield, they're going to play that run, right? Maybe it's just predictability has set in maybe with this game. Maybe that might be what it is. But I'm not. Nah, I'm not down with the Debo. I'm really not. Steven, no RDBs cost us the Super Bowl. Oh, you're talking about so you're talking about no on Jair Alexander because they cost us the Super Bowl. Debo from 21. Okay, that's fair. It was mentioned because of a quarterback issues. It was meant. I don't know what you mean, RC3. I don't know what you mean. But while we wait for other comments to kind of flood in, do me a huge favor. If you guys are sitting here and enjoying, obviously, the stream, do me a huge favor. We're sitting with 25 likes right now. Come on. We got 70 people here on the YouTube side. 70 people. Smack up the like button here, ladies and gentlemen. Do it for the algorithm. This is your first time here. Subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. That little red button that you're seeing down there, hit that subscribe button and put that little post notification bell on as well, just so you're aware when we go live or when we drop the next video, because content's going to be coming out galore. We got the off season, but that doesn't mean the Cardinals content stops, right? It might stop in May, June, and July, but we're still going to be rolling through, especially within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We have free agency hitting our way, and a lot of things are coming away. So smack the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's keep it with the chat. My guy in the chat says, okay, we need Chase Young. I mean, you're not the first person that I heard saying that. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Debo would be great in Pittsburgh. That's where I see him going. I think that's where I think a lot of people saw Ayuk going to Pittsburgh. A lot of people saw Ayuk going to Pittsburgh. Obviously, the 49ers decided just to re-sign him, right? But for what it's worth, it looks like... Sorry, 1 second. I saw something here. Now, okay. So we see some... So when it comes down to Jair Alexander, I'm just seeing a tweet right now that it's a guy that does what I do, but obviously I cover the Cardinals. He covers the 49ers. I'm sorry, not 49ers. Wow. He covers the Green Bay Packers. He's saying Jair Alexander, most likely a day 3 pick, likely in my opinion, for him to get moved off of. That's interesting. I thought it would be more of like a second or third round pick, but if he's talking about a day 3 pick, 4, 5, 6, 7 round, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm not mad at the Chase Young thing. I'm not mad at the Chase Young thing. I think that's definitely some intrigue that comes along with that for sure. But yeah, Diana Rossini coming up clutch here with obviously the tweet of the morning. And obviously when it comes down to quarterbacks, there's going to be a lot of real eyes looking to see where Matthew Stafford lands himself. Or maybe this is all one of those things where we're talking about it so much and he just finds himself back to the freaking Rams. That's a real possibility too. Might land himself back with the Rams. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I can definitely very well see the Giants. They're in desperate need of a quarterback, and then the Raiders probably want to make a splash play because, let's be honest. What's their name? Tom Brady, new minority owner, maybe wants to make a splash. All right, so there's that. Got a few people here in the chat. Yeah, no, he's definitely not going to get traded though for sure. Let's see here. Give me a shutdown corner and a serious pass rush division champs. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, well, let me ask you this, Sharon. Appreciate you for being here, by the way. Who's that one pass rusher that you want? Either via trade or... not via trade. Or I guess, yeah, via trade if you want to put via trade. Via trade, free agency, or the draft. That one pass rusher that you think is going to be the person that's going to change our pass rushing core. Who do you think is that one person, right? You think we trade for Miles, Max, Micah? You think we go after a pass rusher and get our own Jared Verse? in the draft, or do you think we go after free agency, maybe going after a Josh Sweat? What say you? Anybody? Let's do that. Question for everybody in the chat. Who's that one pass rusher in this offseason that you want the Cardinals to get? That one pass rusher that you want via trade, free agency, or the draft? Let me know right now in the comments below. That's going to change this Cardinals D-line. Let me know. Let me know. Got some more Chase Youngs here. All right. Steven says Myles Garrett. Browns are playing hardball, man. Browns are playing hardball. Let's see what they decide to do. Let's see what they decide to do. Hassan Reddick. Okay. Josh Sweat. Draft Mike Green. Did you guys hear the thing? Did you hear the thing with Mike Green? Did you guys hear the thing of Mike Green? Yeah, there's some off the field issues with Mike Green, and I know. I got some James Pierce vibes Jr. as well. James Pierce Jr. vibes too, and Jalen Carter vibes too when I heard about this. But apparently, there's some off the field issues with Mike Green. I like him too. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I really do like Mike Green a lot. But I've been kind of hearing a couple different things here and there about Mike Green's off the field issues, and I saw a tweet from my guy Jesse from Roundtable Sports, covers the 49ers. He put a tweet out there, and I heard that there was some things. I just never confirmed like where it was actually coming from, and I just didn't know what it was, or I didn't know what it was. But apparently, let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, here we go. So I think the off the field issues that we're dealing with is like it's not good. It's not good. Now I don't know if I want to like let me just screenshot it. I'll let you guys read it. I don't want to. I'll let you guys read it. But this is I heard something. I just never knew exactly what it was. So you make your own judgment, I guess. But this is what I saw earlier this morning, earlier this morning, about Mike Green. But yeah, I'll leave it up here for about 30 seconds. Read fast if you want. But I really do like him as well, man. It's just, I just don't know if, like, this is something that Monty will do. But I do like him out of the draft, man. I really do. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is what I was talking about a little earlier when it comes down to Mike Green. So maybe he might fall a little bit. Maybe not. But this is the off the field issues that are a little concerning here when it comes down to it. So for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, there's that. Michael says, Pierce, yes, I do agree. But there was also some like character issues, but they didn't tell us what those character issues was from James Pierce Jr. as well. I don't think it hits anything like that. Josh Sweat, Max Crosby, we got Reddick over here, okay? Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson. Me and you, man. RC3, I feel like we're the only ones talking about Trey Hendrickson. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, I didn't see. So I heard that there was character issues off the field 2-3 weeks ago. I just didn't know what those character issues were, right? Now that I saw that, I'm like, eesh, that's not good. That's not good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, let's take a couple more comments here. Appreciate you guys for being here. And we're going to be closing up shop here pretty soon. I'm going to be probably jumping on making a video here for you guys. So make sure you have your post notification on. I got some content coming galore for you guys. Potentially a Harold Landry video a little later on. I got to make it and I got to drop a little later on. So I'm excited about that because I know the Cardinals need to upgrade that pass rush, man. They need to upgrade it. Let's take a couple more comments and we're going to be closing up shop. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. It's rough. Agreed. All right. 2 more comments, and then we'll close up shop. Michael in the chat says Crosby is a beast. You want to pair him with a Robinson and draft a interior defensive tackle. Love it. Love the idea. Jalen Carter also had character issues and fell to the Eagles. Now look at him. Yeah, I agree. That's the thing too. Like that's what you got to realize, right? So here's the thing, right? As an organization, you got to make a tough decision, right? Absolutely. Tough decision. And I remember when Jalen Carter got in trouble, I wanted him too. I wanted Jalen Carter and I wanted Will Anderson Jr. At the 3rd overall pick. And then when the Cardinals decided to trade back, or when I heard about Jalen Carter, I was like, I don't know, that's a Monty guy. But I still wanted Will Anderson Jr. But the Cardinals decided to trade back up to get Paris. So, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I still do like Mike Green, but this definitely might sway people off of getting him, especially the Cardinals, because they're looking for a very specific type of character, player that fits in this locker room, and I don't think that fits the locker room. I don't think that fits the locker room. I don't think it fits it, man. So we'll see. All right. What do you think we address first? Our weight room or the locker room? I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no clue. We gotta ask Monty Bidwell. I was gonna say Monty Austin for. No, actually, you really got to speak to Michael Bidwell to that one. I have no clue what they're going to address first. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop here. I agree. 100%, Chris. 100% agree. There's off the field issues are different. Mike Green, yes, 100% agree. This is different. When it comes down to those allegations, those are different than smoking some, devil's lettuce, right? Or having a video with you in a bong, right? It's different. So yeah, no, the stuff that we brought up here and showed up on the screen, obviously I didn't read it because YouTube's got some really, really strong policies on saying certain words. So I wanted you guys to read it, only put it up for 30 seconds, let you guys read it and see exactly what happens from there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Do me a huge favor on your way out. Smack up the like button, man. Smack up the like button. Subscribe. Share this video out with your friend. We are on the road to 17K. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on the following 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, have a great rest of your day. Shout out to the people that are currently on the chat and obviously just like active. Thank you, guys, all. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.